We are at my favorite spot in all of Austin, Texas. Let's go. It's called Alive and Well. And one of the reasons we moved to the neighborhood that we did when we moved to Austin is because this place existed. They have tons of super cutting edge biohacking treatments and a very well curated supplement store. But today I'm doing something called EBO2, which you're going to see in a minute. Let's go. So this will be my third time doing EBO2 here at Alive and Well, and it's a really fascinating treatment because it involves a number of different moving parts. What's going to happen is we're going to put an IV in one arm and an IV in the other arm. The blood is taken from this arm through an ozone dialysis. Then that blood goes through something called a hemolumen, otherwise known as blood irradiation. It has a number of different frequencies of light inside a box, and your blood runs through that and then goes back in this arm, through the body, back out this arm, through the ozone dialysis, and again and again and again. You do a number of passes doing that. It's really, really effective for getting inflammatory proteins and toxins out of your blood, even proteins that are spiked. Hopefully I don't have any of those, but you never know because I'm breathing air out in the world, if you know what I'm saying. But this is a really potent mitochondrial enhancement and also, as I said, a detox. So I'm going to show you each step of the way as you go through this. For me, it's painless and easy. You just sit there and kind of have a chat and have some fun, but it's one of the most powerful treatments that I've ever found. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. So one of the coolest things about Alive and Well here in Bee Cave is that we have a Sun Life Organics, which is really the only place to get healthy food in this particular area known as Hill Country, broadly speaking. But I also love the ambiance in this place. It's extremely well designed and vibey, as you can see here. And then in terms of a really well put together supplement store, they have just about everything you could ever need in here. Trying to avoid shooting people who don't want to be shot, or at least without asking them. I don't feel like asking them. But this is my go-to in terms of brick and mortar local shopping. They have just about everything I could ever need in here. So when you combine a great environment with great aesthetics and a friendly staff, and of course the Ozone products here, of which I'm a huge fan, a Quicksilver Scientific, when you combine high vibes with great design and cutting edge services and treatments, you got a win on your hands. And it's even really nice behind the scenes. So back in here is where I'll be doing my treatment. Okay, we made it in to the lounge room here. So as you can see, I've got my IVs in each arm, and they're preparing the EBO2 equipment now. Once they're ready, I'll go in and get hooked up and do the damn thing. All right, as promised, here we are. So I'm set up with both arms doing their thing. This one sends the blood out into that dialysis membrane where it's infused with ozone. And then you can see over there, there's an oxygen tank that goes into the ozone generator and electrocutes the oxygen to create the ozone. And there's a regulator that controls the flow of the ozone. And you can see, if you can see on that video, when my blood comes out of my body, it's much darker red. And then when it goes through the ozonated dialysis membrane, it turns bright red. And the reason that happens is because it's infused with all of this oxygen. Once the blood leaves that membrane, which by the way is filtering out all these inflammatory proteins that end up in that bucket, kind of looks like a foamy beer by the time you're done. So that's all the inflammation in my body and other toxins, impurities, etc., that are removed by the dialysis membrane. Once the blood's filtered and cleaned, it goes into this thing here called the hemolumen that has a number of different light bulbs in it. The most important ones being UVA and UVC that disinfect the blood from any pathogens. But my favorite part is that it has red light in the spectrum of 660 nanometers. which your mitochondria love, especially when you've preemptively taken a very large dose of methylene blue, which I did today. So the blood goes out through all that stuff, through the lights, back in, and then back out. And we'll do that for about 45 minutes until all the blood in my body has been filtered and run through that system. And by the end of it, we'll have maybe a quarter bucket of all that inflammation. And then they'll disconnect me and I'll walk out of here having the best day ever. All right, so finished the EBO2 treatment, took about an hour. And after I did that, I went and had an IV, Myers cocktail, a bunch of micronutrients and stuff. So the results are that I feel freaking amazing just like every time I do it. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to spend the next week or so with much lower inflammation, toxic load, and most importantly for me, which is why I really got into this treatment in the beginning, is to rid my body of mycotoxins. You know, it's very difficult to avoid being exposed to mold. And one of the things that happens is over time, even if you don't have mold in your house, you build up mycotoxins from even eating food like delicious things like cheese and all kinds of stuff. So got the mold and mycotoxins levels down, toxins, heavy metals, inflammation, all that stuff. So it was a successful mission over at Alive and Well. So I highly recommend if you're in the area, it's definitely worth doing. I like to do 3 in a row, 3 weeks in a row. Now mine have been a bit sporadic because of scheduling, but man, doing 3 of these in a row is a game changer.